everyone. Welcome back to the Alex Stone Show. I am your host, Alex Stone. I am on a mission to spread the light of the gospel into every aspect of life. And yes, I did say every, including the things that most Christians do not like to discuss, such as politics. Today is Thursday, January 4th, and the leadership principle says, be open to change, adapt, don't be rigid, delegate. You cannot do everything. Put people around you who know more than you to help you. Trust them, listen, share the vision, and let them run without micromanaging them. And today's guest is someone that I have helped, I have had come into my life, and he has helped me. He is, I've been able to delegate things to him. We've been able to work together on many things. He's just recently come on the board for 1776 Forever Free with myself, Dr. Cordy Williams, Cameron Moore, and a couple others. And he's someone who has impacted my life. And he's someone that I can share vision with, I can listen to, I can trust. Really, not just with my podcast, not just with Operation Z and 1776, but this is someone that I can trust with my life, and I mean that wholeheartedly. He's a podcaster, he's an author, he is the host of The Right Side. Please welcome my good friend Doug Billings. How are you doing today, sir?
Hi, Alex. Happy New Year.
Yes, happy New Year to you as well.
Thank you for that introduction. I am touched, really. I mean, you are, like a son to me. So thank you very much. And the feeling goes both ways. Thank you.
Well, certainly, I appreciate you and just the impact that you've had on my life. I know, many times we go out and get some food since we're about 30 minutes away. Praise the Lord. So, for my audience who's listening, Doug's not just a podcast friend or a friend of my show, but he's a friend in real life. And he's someone that I've grown to trust very, very much. And I can talk to him about just about everything and anything. And he means a lot. His opinion about my personal life means a lot, but also his opinion about politics means a lot too. And just recently, we've had some pretty big news related to Jeffrey Epstein, and I wanted Doug Billings to come on my show and talk about Jeffrey Epstein and everything that's going on with that. The list just got released, and President Trump's name was mentioned, and many people in the mainstream media have taken it and gone with it and said, "Oh, Trump's name is on the list. He's guilty." Well, as you and I know, Doug, the mainstream media is a bunch of liars. And we want to give you the facts. We want to give you the truth. So, Doug, take it away. What do you think about this Jeffrey Epstein thing?
Yeah, it's much ado about nothing with regards to Trump. To quote Shakespeare, it's not nothing there. Here's the truth, and a lot of this that we know that I'm about ready to tell you and your audience, we have known since 2016 and 2020 when other trials and documents were released. The thing is this. Let me go back in time a little bit. Trump was on Epstein's plane once. He was on the plane to go from Palm Beach to New York City. Now, Trump was a businessman. Epstein's a businessman. They did business. They didn't do business. They were friends. They were associates, and he needed a lift to New York. Epstein said, "Hey, come on, I'm heading up there." So sure, he goes on the jet and he goes to New York City. Trump never went to Epstein's Pedo Island. Never, not once. Meanwhile, you've got President Clinton who went there to the island 27 times. 27. So, yes, and to your point, Alex, today, of course, people coming out and saying, "Oh, look at this, the name Trump, he's in these documents." Well, the documents revealed that the witnesses in this case and at this trial were saying, we're answering questions. Did you ever see Trump on the island? No. Did you ever see Trump engage with business activities with Epstein on the island? No. Trump wasn't at the island. And so that's the takeaway. But because his name was in these documents, because he was being talked about, people go nuts and they jump to conclusions. I was just looking at X just a minute ago. There's a guy, Mike Singleton, or I forget his name. That might not be it. But some guy jumping to conclusions. Look, Trump's name is in these documents. I told you. God knows what else he's done. I mean, you're looking at this going, it's nuts. In on a non-related but semi-related issue, you have other documents that were dumped by a major news media outlet today that says that when Trump was in office, that Trump Enterprises made millions of dollars from foreign agents and ambassadors and foreign government officials who stayed on Trump property when Trump was president. Okay, so Eric Trump comes out and says, whoa, wait a minute. All of that money, every dime that our properties, our hotels and others made from these people who stayed there when my father was in office was voluntarily donated where? Back to the United States Treasury. So I bring that up only to highlight the context by which the mainstream media fails to provide every time something like this happens. Their disdain for President Trump is so intense that any shred of intellectual maturity goes out the window. They will post and say everything to lead people down false trails and lies and myths about the president. So I'm glad you're talking about it. And the truth of the matter is, one plane flight from Palm Beach to New York City 20 years ago, never a trip to the pedo island, as we say, for Epstein. Look at Prince Andrew. Prince Andrew, Bill Clinton, who's in those same documents, who was quoted by witnesses as saying, yeah, I like the girls young. Can you hook me up? I mean, really? I mean, let's really talk about the truth, right? But the mainstream media won't have any of it. Alex, I mean,
No,
that's where I stand.
right, you're exactly right, and I knew that's where you would stand. And I just want to mention, President Trump was on the plane, on Jeffrey Epstein's plane, like you said once. It was with his wife at the time and his daughter. I think it was Tiffany. I could be wrong on that, but it was with his wife and his daughter.
Yeah,
He's not going to any Epstein
yeah.
Island. He's not doing any of this garbage. He was flying, I think, to New York or from New York because
It
his
was from
private
Palm
plane.
Beach to New York.
Yes,
Yeah.
because President Trump's private plane was out of commission, because they were doing repairs, et cetera, et cetera. And so I've seen so many people, like, on Twitter or X or whatever, saying, "Oh, well, President Trump could have just used his own plane." Well, okay, you go buy a plane, see how that works, and see how often you're able to actually use your own plane, because there has to be repairs. Like, these people are so dumb, they're so stupid. Bill Crystal is one of those idiots. He writes, "Hi there, Speaker Johnson. Don't mean to intrude on your sightseeing trip to the border, but I gather you are very concerned about personal morality, sexual purity, and the like. So any comments about your man Donald Trump and his BFF Jeffrey Epstein?" Well, some facts about Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. President Trump kicked Jeffrey Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago because Jeffrey Epstein was trying to get with one of the members' daughters, who was young, okay? President Trump kicked the guy out because
Yep.
that's not something that President Trump likes to partake in, okay? He kicked him out. Also in 2009, President Trump was the only person that cooperated with authorities and told them everything that they needed to know about Jeffrey Epstein and the evil wrongdoing that he has been doing for years and years and years and years and years. These are just facts about President Trump related to Jeffrey Epstein, but so many people, like you said, they want to take it and say, "Oh, Trump was with Epstein. Trump is on the list." Well, read the list. Okay? Read the transcript. Okay? The person that was being interviewed said, that President Trump was not only not on his island, he was also not at his home in New Mexico, in Florida, and I believe New York as well. President Trump has not gone any of the properties of
Yeah.
Jeffrey Epstein because he doesn't
So,
partake.
Alex, this is, I mean, this is what you have here is demonstration that President Trump has, drum roll, President Trump has a sense of morality. And the radical left can't deal with that. I mean, they're stuck in some sort of a time warp between his days as a single New York billionaire playboy and a real estate developer and his time as president. And they don't like it, and they try to blend myths. Trump, look, they did the same thing. Remember New Year's Eve at Mar-a-Lago? President Trump is there. He's by himself. Melania is not there. And he's with some staffers. President Trump is. He has his picture taken, and they're attractive women, okay, these staffers. And all of a sudden, the left, where is Melania? Trump with all of these women. Look at this. Playboy Trump is back. Well, Melania was tending to her bedridden and very ill mother, and was not at that engagement. So again, it's just another example of how Trump derangement syndrome is alive and well. He lives in the heads of these people, and the truth will prevail. I mean, we could go down any list of things that President Trump is facing right now, from these Epstein documents to the bogus and soon to be done away with indictments, all of it. it's all going to be washed away because the truth, of course, will prevail and it will surface to the top. So we have a real challenge, you and I, Alex. We have a challenge of combating the fake news. You, in particular, with regards to the youth of America. You know, I've got more years behind me than I've got ahead of me. You've got a whole lifetime. And what you're trying to do with your Gen Z project and so forth, we've got to begin to make inroads into the youth of this country, into the culture of young people, and prevent them to either, I shouldn't say prevent, because they will see these fake stories, these fake news stories that come out. But we have to teach and inspire these young people to be aware of and know how to find truth away from fiction. And I think you're on the right path with regards to doing all of that.
Well, Doug, thank you. I really appreciate that. Those words mean a lot to me. Some other people who have been going along with this, agenda of President Trump's a really bad guy, either he's a pedophile or a rapist or whatever garbage. Guy named Ron Filipkowski, and he's an absolute bona fide idiot. And there's another idiot by the name of Ron, and his name is Ron DeSantis. I want to take a shift away from Jeffrey Epstein, Donald Trump. What do you think is going to happen in these next few months related to the election?
Trump will become the GOP nominee. I mean, that's a given. You'll see Trump begin again. His popularity, his standing in the polls will continue to rise. And that's due to a few things. One, not just because of the debacle of Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis and this slate of candidates, but you're going to see him rise in the polls because more and more people are waking up to the disaster that has been presented to us from Biden and how nobody else has a countermeasure to that. DeSantis does not. Nikki Haley certainly does not. And you'll see Trump begin to again pull away from the crowd. So Trump, with let me look into when you think of demographics in this country, the number one demographic that's leaning towards or trending towards President Trump, young black men. And they are on the streets. I could show you any number of video clips or stories where they're identifying the number one issue of them wanting to go to Trump. And it's not the economy. It's not more jobs. It's not education. The number one issue that's driving them, and for that matter, almost everybody else, away from Biden and the commune socialists, formerly known as Democrats, as I call them, is the border. That's the crisis that is going to change the course of this election. And Trump will win because of that. It is such a debacle. Now, Ron DeSantis, to your question specifically, before DeSantis threw his name in the ring to be a presidential candidate, I did shows where I said, wouldn't it be a great tag team here, a great double billing to have Trump, DeSantis. Trump is president, DeSantis is the VP. I was on record saying that on my show, so just in full transparency. My thinking is, and it always was, that we already know the answers. We know the answers to the debate that DeSantis and Nikki Haley are going to have. We know the answers that Chris Christie would have given, that Mike Pence would have given. And we know the job performance and the answers that President Trump represented. He's already done it. The man has a list of accomplishments that would take up 7 screenshots at least on any social media if you tried to list them all. And he's done it. Now, I'm not saying that we should just prevent everybody who wants to be president from talking about that. They should be able to have their platform. But at the end of the day, and to your question about what's going to happen next, these candidates, as we get closer to the nomination of Trump from the GOP, they had better all stop, withdraw, support, and endorse President Trump. They'd better all do it. There's a guy out there by the name of Bill Mitchell who's posting some of the most intellectually immature stuff I've ever seen. Me and every other DeSantis supporter out there, we're never going to vote for Trump. It doesn't matter. We'll go to somebody else. When he says that, first of all, that's not true. Second of all, if it were true, that would make Bill Mitchell and every one of those DeSantis supporters among the most intellectually mature people in the world. You don't do it. I just saw a post and commented from a conservative. I'm not going to vote for Trump. If that happens, if he gets the nomination, I'm going to vote for Kennedy. And I had to remind the person that no conservative who's a Christian who actively participates and practices their faith can vote for a Democrat. It doesn't, your religion, your faith in God and Jesus Christ is incompatible with the platform and the policies and the politics of this commune socialist Democrat Party.
Right. You're spot on. You know, you mentioned Bill Mitchell, and our good friend Ann Vandersteel used to do work with Bill,
Yep.
and Ann has completely and totally disavowed him because Bill Mitchell is quite frankly an idiot. You talked about intellectual immaturity. Guys, the reason why we have come to this point is because of so many years of mainstream media indoctrination all over the place, not just with, you know, older people, but with my generation as well. And this is happening not with my generation on places like Fox News or CNN, MSNBC, whatever. It's happening on TikTok. Okay. And the solution that we have is something that's going to be very big. It's called Operation Z, opznow.com, opznow.com. It's called Operation Z. I've partnered with General Flynn, Roger Stone, Doug Billings, Dr. Cordy Williams to basically hire and pay Generation Z influencers to go out on places like TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, to promote the truth. Because right now, the Democrats are doing that. And Republicans
And
have not
yep.
had anything to counter it. And we need something to counter it. So go to opznow.com. You can learn more about that there. And you can see the endorsement video that we did with General Flynn at the Reawaken America tour in Miami, Florida. It was phenomenal. Doug, how are you? What do you think is going to happen with my generation very, very soon?
Well, I think so. Look, I am always optimistic. Even in the midst of the nightmare that we're in, I believe, as everybody wakes up from nightmares, we are in a nightmare. I believe that what you're going to do is help people wake up, and that's why I'm hopeful. That's why I'm hopeful for your generation. I am not one that says, "Oh, we're lost. It's over. It's our country is over." And no, it's not. It's not over. America is not dead. America is not even on our deathbed yet. We have got a long way to go here, folks. And I think it's because of people like Alex who are carrying now the baton. We're passing on the torch of conservatism to people like Alex Stone here. And I think Patrick Byrne deserves a big shout out too for his help that he's been for your Operation Z.
Yes,
We're
sir.
gonna countermeasure what the radical left is doing. And the beautiful thing is, Alex, your side, your conservative side, is the right side. No pun intended. I'm not trying to draw attention to the title of my show. You are right. You are correct. The truth resides with you, and you will be able to prevail because of the truth. We mentioned Bill Mitchell and these other people that have gone off the deep end, and it may sound harsh when we talk about them but listen, we have an obligation and a moral duty to speak the truth and to call out people who are not speaking the truth. Now, we welcome Bill Mitchell back. If Bill Mitchell has a change of heart and says, you know what, I was wrong on my assessment, I'm now, come on back. Come on back to us. We're here. We have big arms and a big hug. Come on back. We're ready to have you. But we have got to speak the truth in the meantime. And the meantime it is not anyone's time but President Trump's. He's already done it once. Look, another issue is his age. Doug, he's too old. He's beyond the age of, listen, have you been around President Trump? Have you seen his schedule? Up at 4:30 in the morning, not really done with work until about 6 or 6:30 at night, constantly on the move, public speaking engagements, rallies. I mean, the guy is insane with regards to the energy that he has and the ability to do the job. I am convinced he's the only person God has chosen. Look, and people will go, well, Billings, look at Doug Billings and Alex Stone. God has chosen President Trump. It's a cult. You see what I mean? Well, you look, this country and the founding fathers wanted God to be woven within our society, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. They intended it. You don't need to just go to the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. Look at their private journals. Look at their private writings and their speeches they made in public outside of the founding documents. They wanted and expected God to be part of our society and part of the school system.
You're exactly right, Doug. I want to do something. I've never done this before on my show, but I want
Oh
to
my
do something.
gosh.
I want to go a speed round of. I'm going to list off some names, and I want
All right.
2 words for you to describe them. Okay, so let's start. Nikki Haley,
Neocon globalist.
Ron DeSantis.
Lost currently, but still hope.
Let's do Vivek Ramaswamy.
Not who he appears to be.
Okay, why would you why do you think that?
I think people that fund him and support him, I think, if we're going to walk the talk, we've got to be really careful about from whom we take money. And I would be suspect of some of the people who have funded his campaign. I know that he's making a strong play. Look, part of the reason anybody runs against somebody like Trump is because they're in it for the long game. They want to keep their name in the public eye. They want to, it usually takes a few runs to become president. Even Ronald Reagan didn't become president on his first try. So they want to do that, and they also want to vie for and position themselves for a cabinet position. So if I have any chance to give any advice to anybody who has any control over, I would warn them about that with Vivek and just say, let's delve in and do a thorough background check on who's giving him money, because we have
Fair
to be
enough.
able to walk the talk with regards to not
Hmm.
taking money from the people who are globalists, big pharma. I mean, you know what I mean? So we just have to be
I know
careful
exactly
about
what you
that.
mean. All right, next one. Let's see. Barack Obama.
The beginning of the end of America. If we didn't stop him, Muslim, Islamist, anti-American, I could go on and on.
Michelle Obama.
Big Mike.
Do you think she'll be the next? Do you think she'll run for president very soon?
No, not a chance. And I know that your friend Roger Stone thinks she will not. She won't even come close because she'll have too many questions to answer about being Big Mike.
Roger Stone.
A hero, an American patriot, one of the, I envision him and General Flynn, Mike Lindell, the Trumps, and so forth as part of this new. I pictured them in a picture. Maybe we can get the commander's artist to do something like the original founding fathers blended in with these new refounding fathers, and Roger Stone would be one of them.
Yeah, I definitely agree. General Flynn.
Personal friend, hero, and a blessing.
And finally, Donald J. Trump.
Most substantial president this republic has ever had. And words are important. I said most substantial. I didn't say the best. We can make arguments for that. We've got George Washington, and you've got others in the mix, Ronald Reagan and others. The most substantial. He's Donald Trump is at the place in our country's history, as are you, as am I, and everyone watching and listening, where we have a real decision to make between the choices of good and evil. And President Trump is the one who is most substantially involved with steering the country and its politics towards the side of good.
You're
So it's
exactly right.
very substantial. His presidency cannot be underestimated, and the importance that he plays in our history, I believe, will be such that his face will appear on Mount Rushmore.
There we go. And then finally, remaking the American political system.
God bless you, Alex. Thank you very much. That's a book that I wrote with my friend Mike Beeler. It's really kind of a template to remake and refound the American political system as the founding fathers intended. So thank you for bringing that up. I appreciate it. They can get that at Amazon.com or at DougBillings.us.
Go to DougBillings.us, find Doug's book, Remaking the American Political System, and his show, The Right Side with Doug Billings. Doug, thank you so much for coming on my show. I appreciate you guys. If you go to mypillow.com and use promo code Stonewall, you can get a discount of up to 66% off of your order. It's one of the best deals you can ever get. I love his pillows. I love his slippers. They're some of the greatest products in the world. I have Mike Lindell bobblehead right behind me. He's a great man, great patriot. He's fighting for the country. MyPillow.com. Use promo code Stonewall. And by the way, very, very soon it will be changed to Gen Z. As I have been doing recently, I'm rebranding my show from a Stonewall's perspective to the Alex Stone Show. And one of the final steps in doing that is rebranding my promo code from Stonewall to Gen Z. Doug, thank you so much for coming on my show. Thank you all for listening. God bless you all, and goodbye.
Thanks, Alex.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and due to your incredible support, the original My Slippers are almost completely sold out. As a special thank you, I am launching my brand new all-season slippers, slides, and sandals for as low as $29.98. This is a limited time offer, so go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code, and you'll get all my new footwear for as low as $29.98. My all-season slippers are made with my exclusive 4-layer design that you won't find in any other slipper. They're finished with a breathable fabric so you can wear them all year round. And my new slides and sandals are made with patented impact gel, making them ultra comfortable and extremely durable. I guarantee they'll be the most comfortable footwear you'll ever own. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen now to get your very own all-season slippers, slides, and sandals for as low as $29.98 with your promo code. This is an introductory offer and it won't last long, so order now.